I wanted to snap.
Clap.
Clap back. That's what we're about to do right now. Oh. Put that in your earphones.
Alright. Welcome to Birds
And bullshit.
coming live.
Again, from San Diego's
Largest.
largest powerlifting gym with
San Diego's strongest powerlifter.
I think that counts now. I don't know anyone else who lives in San Diego that.
Do we know a 2044 in San Diego?
No,
Or 20? It would have to be 2045.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Congrats.
Thank you.
However, if there is, speak up.
Yeah, message us. Say something. Let's see what you got.
We'll get you on the show.
Yeah, we bring you on. And I'll kick you in the knee.
All right, obviously, U.S. Open happened this past weekend. Pretty awesome.
Yes,
So we're going to do a quick recap of that.
we are in the gym, by the way.
Going big on
I don't know what's happening.
first thing, the venue.
It was big.
Yeah, went from the Del Mar to 100,000.
Convention center. Yeah, it was huge. Walking in.
It was almost too big. Like, literally, when you walk in, I was like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
on the other side of the spot. I think it's good, though, as they grow, they can keep it there.
I don't know what the deal. I don't know if Saturday they had all the other events.
Yeah.
And then Sunday there was nothing. That's what I'm guessing, because Sunday was literally just
Just powerlifting.
us
And I'm sure
powerlifting. So
And, you know, I mean, hopefully next year when they hold it on Thanksgiving Day, I'm sure Mother's Day had a lot to do.
that'd be a good post meat meal, though. I'll tell you that much.
They could do the turkey leg thing.
Oh
in the NFL.
man, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they had to do it Sunday being just focused on the powerlifting.
Yeah.
Which, man,
It was awesome.
somebody put up a post of the crowd and said, they say powerlifting is a spectator sport, but
Yeah,
dude, it
was
awesome,
nice. It was
right?
cool.
It was nice.
loud. Energy was good. So the warm up area in the back was pretty legit. It was better than a lot I've seen. There was a ton of platforms. Yeah, I think 5.
Five platforms.
Plenty of weight, plenty of bars, obviously. I don't think anybody was fighting for space. I mean, the one we were warming up on, it was basically me and Perseus, and
I mean, it was like
that was it.
on the platform.
Yeah, it was. Yuri had his own on the whole other side. No one messed with him. He was off in his own world. He was probably the most intense person in the back overall.
Them a little cut of the 40 minutes he was gonna take.
No, I thought he got paid to show up.
Whatever. If I knew he was gonna win it.
I would do too. Yeah, but it was good.
It's pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, I did hear some things about Saturday that when they got behind, it was hard to warm. It was hard for the men to warm up on deadlift because the women were still warming up.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that's going to happen. There's always
Some kind of thing.
something that goes on. One
Happens.
platform, a little behind the other, but overall,
Yeah,
the
the
warm-up area was probably the best you're going to see.
yeah, it was good. That the speed of the meet was also something on Saturday that was a little off. The men's side went really, really fast, but that was because they didn't have as many flights and they had a lot of bomb outs and people just dropping out. The women, I think they had 4 full flights, and there was I was told by Thomas, our friend, who was there spotting and loading, that there was a lot of women missing their time, like timing out on the platform. He said he's never seen so many crazy setups in his life before.
Being a judge and being around a lot of meets, I will say men usually move a little faster
Yeah.
than women as far as on the platform. But I don't know. Like I said, it's just there were more women's flights. than
Yeah. Just sheer numbers. I think Sunday the meet moved really well. It was nothing dragged on. Nothing was too slow. It wasn't like you had too little time between attempts, not attempts, but lifts.
I saw anybody time out.
No, it was really smooth. I was really happy with it.
The one thing about the powerlifting community that I always love is that people are willing to help.
Yep.
No matter what you need. And it was that way again. Definitely a few bomb outs on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Not a ton of surprises. A couple people pulled out, but
Yeah.
injury maybe or whatever. But
Whatever happened.
I mean, that happens.
So one of the and we'll get into lifters in just a bit on what happened with some of the people. But one of the things that was a huge point of contention and discussion I seen just online, different places and whatnot, and forums and comment sections and all that jazz was the judging. So there was a lot of shit talking about the judging standards, and albeit they were high, they were really high. They were strict.
I mean, you're looking at and granted, it shouldn't be any different, but you're looking at the pinnacle of
Yep.
powerlifting here. One of the top two meets, we'll say, in the world.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
what do you expect? I mean, they're going to be picky. They're not going to just give world records away.
Yeah,
Going into the meet, we all knew that. I think we
Yeah.
all knew that. And as far as from the spectator perspective, you're never going to have a true angle. I mean,
no,
speaking from me and Adam, he took his third squat and he told me he thought he was down there, and legitimately it was high. You watch all the videos and that thing looks like it was sunk, but
yeah,
I'm telling you, it was high. I was right there on the side perspective. I was looking at it as a ref would, and just the way it goes. I think that people always say, "Oh, get in the chair." Believe me, these guys have been in the chair.
Yeah.
They're not trying to take anything from it. I'm a ref. I don't want to see anybody.
yeah. I think,
I
yeah,
never want to give a red light.
Yeah, of
but
course.
It happens, and yeah, there were probably a couple refs there that seemed to be getting on a red light
streak.
or just his standards were that
That high,
high,
yeah.
And there were some ones where I thought, man, they were splitting hairs, but
Yeah, one of my opener squat was called for depth, and the reason was my knee moved forward, which caused the hip not to break. So I mean, fair enough.
always ask
But-
them. That's what I say. Always ask them. Find out why you're getting the red light.
Yeah, it was strict.
Depth calls.
Yeah, they were, and that's what kind of happens with raps. And I think the depth calls were caused by something totally different, not judging.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that as well. I think some of the bench stuff was pretty good. I think it was consistent. The
thought the
pause
pauses
commands were.
really good. I mean, there
Yeah.
were a couple hiccups maybe
Yeah.
with handoffs.
It was a lot of uneven lockout calls, which I don't think I've ever seen really that much.
I guess I just think any max lift you're gonna start having seam breaks
Mhm.
down, in lift. But yeah, I don't know. I thought for sure the most consistent I thought was the benching.
Yeah, it was solid, except for my last one.
Yeah, right.
I'm just kidding.
That one was tough. That was tough to watch.
Yeah.
Anyways, deadlifts, yeah,
Couple no lockout. There was a lot of no lockout calls, at least on Sunday that I saw. I'm not so sure about Saturday. I wasn't watching the red lights as much, obviously, because you're not there. But I think again, it's not the judging that was the reason for that. I think it was something else. Again, part of the condition of the meet, which was a little weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it.
I mean, we get into that, as far as the setup.
Yeah.
I mean, so squat, bench, deadlift, the judging.
It was-
You make your adjustments.
Yeah, exactly. So they told us in the back, 5 minutes before your flight starts, if you need to adjust your opener, you can do so, right? So being in flight B and C, after you see 13 out of 16 guys in the first flight and their openers get called for depth, maybe you need to make an adjustment because they're being really strict and everybody knew it.
I mean,
That's why we open conservatively.
we opened with what I call a no shit opener.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this no matter what, and we still got red. So
Came back and got it though. So,
there you go. But we'll talk about that more on Adam's recap. But as far as the platform, you were out there. I mean, obviously I was up there on the big platform.
Yeah.
And it was much bigger this year. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
the whole 2 platforms, and last year when I did it was just one.
Mhm.
And honestly, last year when I did it, I don't remember any problems. The platform seemed good, sturdy, fine. Just like any other meet to me.
stage itself was felt a little weird. When you walked on it, you could see it indent. When you're just walking, there's no weight, just walking, you could feel it moving up and down. So
It had some movement.
imagine that with a couple hundred to 1,000 pounds on your back, and you could see that with some of the walkouts from JP, from Big Rob. You could see it from a handful of different guys walking out.
Andy said it best that
Yep. Yeah.
The platform being the way it was, which we don't know if they switched out the wood. I don't think they switched out the wood.
It didn't look like it.
All the lifters were saying there was a soft spot.
There was. You could feel a dip when you walk out. There was a dip on one of the sides. The platform, when you looked at it from the side, was up on the back. So the front was on the ground being held by the weight. But if you took that the rack off with all the weights, I bet you that thing would have been bent like this.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they should be using the hardest wood they can find.
Yeah.
And they should switch it out. Definitely from day one to day two with that type of weight being dropped on it. With
Consistently. And on top of that, the new kabuki bars were introduced at this meet, meaning no one could really touch. No one had access to these things.
Well, no,
right?
Not necessarily. The kabuki power bar and squat bar have been out.
Oh, okay.
Those have been in gyms. I know, like
It's just the
Florida
deadlift.
out here has them and talked about them. And obviously, Gracie's had them down at California League.
Yeah, she got them.
Those two have been out for a while.
Okay.
Those two bars, again, being there and grabbing them, kind of feeling them. We have the Texas bars here.
Yeah.
That's what we use. However, I just did order the kabuki bars, so now we'll get to play around with those. And
Yeah, that'll be dope.
Under a little bit
Yeah.
less variables than up on the stage, but so those two bars
That'll
were
be
out.
dope.
They were used, a couple in the back, right?
Yeah, I think there was 2 or 3 in the back, and then of each one.
Yeah, and then
Squat, bench, deadlift.
on the platform. But like Andy said, it was just everything kind of worked together.
Yeah.
Having a hard walkout with the platform being a little unstable, and then, that creates more of a bar whip. These guys have massive weight on their back. It's not like they're walking out.
I looked at some of the other videos, including some of mine, and what you see is walking out, the bar wasn't moving a whole lot on people's back, but what happened when you squatted and you made the transition, you could see the bar go from straight to just boom. I mean, a complete bend, which I don't know if I've seen bars. Usually when the weight's on there, it's already going to be bent. And this thing didn't bend until it moved.
Yeah. No, I mean, there are a lot of big weights that I was watching on that bar, and obviously, they had all the way up to 1,003 on at one point. And again, I don't think the bar necessarily. It was just everything
Around. Yeah, it was weird.
Worked up into that, those squats.
Yeah.
Again,
It was.
people are shifting with it on their back. That's just creating it now. If
More,
they get it stable before they go, well, that's good. And in the bottom, if depending on how fast they're going to squat. You watch Herbie. I'm sure that bar didn't bend.
Yeah, it didn't. The cool thing though about the squat bar was it didn't move on your back.
Yeah.
Usually, if I pitch forward a little bit, which I think I did in my third, just a hair, it'll roll up. This thing didn't roll at all, which also played a factor, I think, in deadlifts and on bench. Well, again, we'll talk about my bench in another video, but the bench bar seemed fine.
Didn't people say the rings seemed off for some reason? I heard that.
Yeah, it felt fine for me.
Yeah, I know. I don't know about it. Obviously, bench with it. I'll try.
One of the big things I guess JP brought up because of deadlifts, which was the collars didn't spin at all.
Right.
So it was hard to get your hands kind of in groove. Same for squats, same for bench. I think that's kind of what messed my bench up a little bit. But on deadlifts, I don't know what the hell was going on with that bar on deadlifts, but it was slipping out of. Ben Pollock, I talked to him at the meet on Sunday after. I said, what'd you think? He's like, dude, I was like, because you had 730 on the bar, which is a warm-up for you, and you literally couldn't move it. He does hook grip, and he had to go to switch grip because everyone that hook grip said they couldn't pull it.
Yeah, and
even Yuri.
Kabuki put up a post just saying, that the
Hook
bars
grippers,
did
yeah.
overall pretty well. They obviously want to research a little bit more on, from the people that are pulling hook grip, what the issue is.
Yeah. There was on Saturday, there was a point where 4 guys in a row that are pretty decent deadlifters literally couldn't pick the bar up.
Yeah, which was interesting.
And I was like, oh, boy.
I was a little worried about it, too, with everybody, you and everybody else. But, one thing I'll say on that is I'm not sure that they should have introduced it without...
I don't think so either.
All of us train on a Texas bar. Kabuki bars on around. It's either Texas or Ohio.
Yeah.
There's the Okie bar. There's a whole bunch of... There's definitely a lot of other bars out there that have been in gyms for years. tried to do
Yeah.
it. And now they throw this bar out there for you guys. And again, there was only 2, I think, deadlift kabuki bars in the back.
Yeah,
We
which
didn't know because we
felt
didn't know what end cap
way
was.
different in the back than it did on the platform.
Sure. And I mean, that's
Foster said the same thing in the back. He said, "Dude, this bar feels different than the one we used."
Yeah.
So he got his own chalk. I got my own chalk because we thought, one of the guys from the previous flight came up and said, "Hey, use your own chalk." I think it was Dan actually. Dan said, "Use your own chalk because it may be the chalk causing slippage." I mean, the bar started slipping out of my hand. I never have a grip problem on deadlift ever, and that sucker was rolling.
Yeah.
So it was interesting, man.
I mean, you did hold your 821, though. You didn't sound like it slipped.
Well, I gripped the hell out of that thing. That's why.
I don't know. Maybe there's some adjustments that need to be made.
It felt like it's a little bit thicker than a usual deadlift bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting,
Yep.
too. So, 'cause that definitely
Like
would change. And that could definitely be the reason.
Yeah,
why
because
it's
usually I can get my thumbs rolled in and kind of locked in under because I do it over under. It was hard to do it this time.
Okay.
So
Well, that bar, I talked to Chris, and they said it's about 12 to 16 weeks out, I think, from being sold, so they still got some time.
yeah,
I'd like to,
go back and fix it.
see what the
Look at
issues
it.
are, yeah, fix it up. But I would expect to start seeing them. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get one of those in here too soon.
On to some lifting,
Yeah.
the fun stuff.
Yeah. So let's close this out with the highlights.
Saturday was nuts for the women. The guys was kind of disappointing. It was a lot of bomb outs. I think the 198 started with a pretty decent flight, and then I think they ended with 2 people
Yeah.
that survived. I mean,
And congrats to them because
yeah, dude, this meet is
sometimes
about
it is
survival.
about
We said it
survival,
in
yeah.
the beginning, right?
told you.
It's just survive, It was a very interesting day. Joe Sullivan was a big. He didn't make weight, so that was a huge impact to the whole field.
Well, yeah, the field, but definitely the 198.
Yeah, I mean that was a
We're
huge.
already, I would say the top 4 lifters in the 198.
Yeah, Ashton was out.
The one.
Yep, Ben Pollock finished.
Those guys, but yeah, I mean, obviously the highlights of the day, the women, man, they were.
Yeah.
I think it was probably as on fire as you could have it be for the end of the
Oh
week
my
there.
God,
I mean,
yeah.
The men's segment was good too, but I mean, all-time Wilks got broken
3 times. 642 by Mariana. I think like .18 or something like that. And then Steffi Cohen comes up right after her and breaks it with her deadlift to 642.7. And then Cece comes up the next flight and
just puts it out. I think.
with her opener she wins, and then her second she blew it away with a 606 dead. How many guys can deadlift 600 pounds, let alone at 181?
Like they're still willing to take
Yeah, like,
at
dude,
181 pounds, right?
that's insane.
She is the future for sure. She reminds me of Milanichev when he was in his prime.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
just unstoppable. I mean,
There always looks like there's more. It never looks like there's
It's great.
enough weight on the bar
Yeah.
for her or him when he was like say competing big time. But
and
she's going to distance herself.
Absolutely.
And who knows? Who knows if we'll see another lifter anytime soon like this?
that's close. She has such a great attitude too, and like very good ambassador of the sport. Especially with just like seeing posts with taking pictures of people smiling and commenting on. That's great. That's what we need. Very similar to how Ed Cohn is, right? Just floating around.
Very friendly.
Yeah.
Easy to talk to. Yeah, I spoke with her back at the LA Fit Expo.
Yeah.
Same thing. So, congrats to her, man. She killed it. I would say that she's the Tiger Woods of the sport right now, but that might not be a good thing. I don't know.
Well, Tiger in his
Tiger
prime.
before, but even then, he was obviously.
Was
out
Tiger
there
before he
shooting
s-
with a bunch of
yeah.
people, so, I don't know. Let's just say she's really good.
Yeah.
She's really good. She's a
Michael
good
Jordan.
person.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, seriously. I mean, absolutely killed it. Congrats to all the ladies. You guys put on a great show.
Yeah, it was great to watch.
Tried
I watched to the
watch
end.
as much as I could. But yeah, so that was sad. We don't know all the division winners, by the way. I mean, they haven't put
It was
that
a
out
lot.
there.
Yeah,
You know,
not all the
we know a
results.
few. We can do a quick shout out to Brandon's wife. She set a world record.
Valerie. Yeah.
Congrats to her. But and I think Minnie Meyer pulled a world record, maybe deadlift or no?
I don't know.
I just know it was her best.
Yeah.
So anyways, a couple of the friends that we know. But on to Sunday with our man here, the heavy man, 220s and up.
What an interesting day.
Yeah. It was.
So they put all the 242s in one class or one flight A, and we just kind of started watching them fall like flies when it came to the squat depth calls. Highlight of squats for them was definitely Herbie. The dude took 909 and literally like did a 10-second eccentric with the thing
And then paused it.
just to hit depth
Yeah, I mean, it was
and
like,
blew it up.
Yeah, it looked like a suited,
Yeah.
squat. It was so slow, so paused at the bottom, and then just nice and easy.
Yeah,
brought it up. I mean,
came up.
Obviously, it wasn't easy, and I talked to him about it, but I mean,
Yeah.
that was crazy, man. That was awesome.
I asked him, I said, so how'd that feel? It was like, dude, I was just trying to get depth, and I knew I wasn't there.
37 seconds.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I wish I would have seen that before mine because I would have done the same thing. I would have just waited one more second, but awesome from him. Obviously, Yuri is very dominant.
He's in the same weight class.
I know, man.
And
Just insane.
you had to know going into it, Yuri last year 5 for 9 and still took the title.
The dude is a technician, man. There's no... Just watching him warm up in the back, he is so... Yeah.
I said the same thing last year.
Just regimented.
Watching him is like, I want a lot of lifters to just, or my newer lifters, like, hey, watch how this guy is.
Yeah, everything is the same, always.
And I mean, even any of the guys like that. I mean, just watch. But I think like Brandon Allen, he's definitely more talkative.
Yeah.
Those guys,
I mean, Yuri also doesn't
sits
speak
there, man.
too much
For
English,
sure,
but
but I mean, he was just like, he's like focused though.
very focused, yeah.
Does his rep, goes back, sits there.
Yep.
Waits for him. So, anyways, the Yuri ended up taking the men's.
Dan had a good day, too. Our buddy Dan, 03 OG,
What was it?
1974.
Yeah,
Or his third meet ever. So,
Was at one of my meets I held here about a year
year ago, and he's got 17-something.
Like, what the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Mid-sevens, like
Out of nowhere, dude. He came in and he's just yoked, right? He's lean. He walks around in good shape all the time and just comes in and dominates and then kills it at national or worlds. And then,
He had a great bench.
yeah.
That was huge for him. Squat was good. Yeah, he had a great day. He missed 2K on his last pull, but
Yeah.
he went for 810, which was awesome. But so
Good job for him, yeah.
Grow a beard out, we'll get you on the show. He did good. But anyways, the 242s were amazing just in the
Yeah, these guys are
what they
talented,
call
man.
The top 3,
Yeah.
for the class. 'Cause
Oh, no, dude. It was the top 5.
Yeah,
That was
top 5.
2,100.
Yeah, I mean, I remember at Big Dogs when they were talking about the podium being 2,100, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Or 22, I don't know. And then it happens here, 242.
It was
It
in.
was insane.
Is it 5th place, 21? I'm like, what?
Yeah, so pretty awesome. So Yuri, Dan, and then do we remember who took third?
Bridgeford?
Bridgeford, yeah.
Yeah.
Bridgeford.
Yuri Herbie in Bridgeford.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not Dan. Yeah, Herbie and Bridgeford. Yeah.
These guys are awesome,
He had
man.
he had a couple big pulls in there too, Bridgeford, man. He always does. So.
Yeah.
But good day for all 3 of those. But then, got to the bigger boys. And,
Oh, yeah, 220s and 275s mixed up. The 220 guys, I don't think any of them had the greatest day. Carlos Reyes took first, I believe. And he even said this was his worst powerlifting meet he's ever done. Lot of weird calls. Not weird, but just it almost looked like a lot of these guys are newer kind of to powerlifting, and I'm not sure their experience. They were all looked like younger.
Obviously, I follow the world of powerlifting, and it was definitely a little. I didn't know all of them.
Yeah.
But then again, I didn't know everybody in the 275s this year, or the 220s.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always new people coming up, which is great. That's
275s.
we're good.
We'll talk more about that on my video because we have more insight to that. But Andy won.
275s, he did good. I mean,
He's dominant,
he had a
man.
pretty good day actually overall. I know he didn't hit any of his last
Thirds,
attempts,
yeah.
but still,
Came
he
away with
goes big on it.
22-20.
He goes pretty big on his second attempts anyway.
He does, yeah.
That was congrats to him and Chad. And let me hand off the bar to you on bench, like you said, $50. And then the big boys, the 308s was pretty cool because Larry went up, Dennis was there.
Dennis was big.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit, man. I don't know. There
Big
was
Boy
so
was
many good
308s, and Big Rob, and Big Boy had a tough day. He cut 40 pounds in a couple days and just couldn't get it back, and just didn't have a good day.
Go out there and be strong.
You
I
know,
mean, look what Larry did. Larry, found out. I kind of stopped talking to him a little bit just to
Yeah.
get going in. I told him, I said, I look forward to you being 100% no cutting, going into this meet, and it showed.
Yep.
I mean,
I think he didn't have as good of a day as anyone anticipated. I think
he also
his
squatted in sleeves.
which was great, 821 in sleeves. His bench just didn't seem to be there, and his deadlift wasn't all the way there. And I know there was a lot of
You always
talk.
see the benching and squatting videos and stuff from everybody on Instagram and
Yep.
social media.
Exactly.
Those are all on separate days. Rarely do guys do it all this together on one day. So.
Yeah, and with the strict rules of competition is very different.
So, I mean, those are the adjustments I think we try and account for. Like I try and account for with you. We're doing this all on one day. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get to the ending of it, the overall, because
Yeah.
that was pretty awesome to finish up to this. So Yuri had the highest walks at 6'11", going into the super heavyweights finishing up.
Yeah.
And Larry came out and pulled what was it?
8 something, I forget.
881.
I think so. Yeah.
And that what did that got him
The
second?
third.
Third.
Brandon missed his third deadlift for 881,
Tried to pull.
which would have put him in first. He would have won the whole thing
So
by a
was-
few wilks. Like,
I mean, dude,
he's pissed.
he could have had it right there.
Oh,
too.
man. It's amazing because everybody online was talking about, oh, Yuri this, Yuri that. And in reality, it's like he's beatable, dude. If Brandon had a perfect day, would have smoked him.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, like
same thing could be said for Yuri.
but I mean, shit, it was that close, right?
No, yeah. It definitely wasn't like anybody was running. It wasn't like the women where CC was.
Way out and ahead. No,
30
yeah,
points,
it was
whatever.
close, man.
I mean, it was close.
I think Brandon got 606 or something like that.
And it was
600 wilks still is retarded. Like,
especially by super.
it was like what 2 years ago? There was like 2 people with 600 wilks, and now there's, I mean, it's the new thing. God damn it!
So
Stop.
Yuri took it home again.
Yeah,
And then
Brandon and Larry. So
Congrats to those guys. I don't know. I would say one of these days maybe we can get Brandon on the show. I'm actually.
I would
afraid to
love it.
have
Yeah,
him
that would be
on the
dope.
show.
Let's do it.
Beards and caveman.
Yeah, he's got the ultimate beard of
My
beards,
son,
dude.
My son, when Artie was recording video and she showed him, he thought it was Groot. I was dying.
That's funny.
So Brandon, my son, thinks you are Groot.
Wow.
Anyways, that was cool. It was great weekend.
Awesome lifting.
Nothing really negative about it, man. I love being around these meets. And
Yeah, you really see everybody's a human. You know, all these people you look at on Instagram that are putting up these huge numbers, and you see them on meet day,
I think you talk to him too.
and they're just, you know,
Coolest dudes in the world, or
yeah,
women in the world.
seriously. Really, really happy with the way, everybody's attitude was in the back. Like, that's one of the things I wanted to quickly touch on. I was thinking as I was actually coming over here is, of course, there's people, guys, other powerlifter dudes talking shit on the internet, talking about why can't you hit depth or just, all this stuff. It's like, first of all, you're not here, okay? If you were here, then you'd be good enough. And if you understood about, the attitudes of everybody that is good enough, you'll understand that they don't, like, we're going head to head and we talk shit every once in a while, but it's like, Andy and I are warming up. Foster and I, like, we're warming up for deadlifts together, and we're about to go head to head. And that's just the way it works.
I mean, no matter what, I've said this before, and I'm
Yeah.
going to say it now. You want to beat people on their best day.
Absolutely.
You want to beat them when they're having a shitty day. What fun does that make? I mean,
Yeah.
head-to-head battles. Again, when I play football, you want to beat the best teams. Nobody
Yep.
gives a shit if you're beating the shit out of the lower teams
No.
or whatever, or a team that's missing 5 of their superstars.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I do love that about this sport. That was
Like,
one of the first
dude,
thing that actually attracted me was just my own competition was helping me out at my first meets. That's cool.
It's crazy.
It's good. It's gonna just make the sport that much better
Yeah.
down the line. I do love hearing the was shit talking like Brandon and JP and all those.
It's great.
guys,
But they're in the back, literally sitting next to each
but-
other.
Well, maybe we shouldn't say that. We should leave some intrigue.
Yeah.
You know what
But
I want-
it's cool.
I
No.
was gonna say it is. It's great. It's a good family community back there. So if you're not involved in the sport and you think that you can do it, do it. Get
Yep.
out there and do it, man. We want to see everybody here. And come train with this gym. Actually, you know what I want to hear about some feedback about because I didn't really get to experience it this year. Was how was the live stream? And
Yeah.
I don't know. Leave comments or tell me because. I
Give
talked with Gracie about it last year, and they made a great decision, I think, with what they did this year.
Yep.
It seemed pretty good when I watched the little bits I could on Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't see any complaining either. So
Yeah, let us know what you thought. I mean, I think it being free was probably the coolest thing
Yeah.
she's done. So,
yep.
all right, we're gonna wrap this up. And we'll move
Do it.
to a little recap for yours.
All right.
Stick around. Maybe you'll get another twofer.
Twofer.
We out.